Welcome back to another episode of the Sports Nest Podcast. My name's Peyton.
I'm Will.
And we're back here today talking about some more March Madness. We actually recorded an episode last week. However, someone's phone ran out of storage because of Saturday's best videos. They're all in his phone now. So we didn't get to post the episode because it was a 40-minute podcast, but 11 minutes in. It was a long
podcast, yeah.
It died. So we're back today. Right before spring break next week, so we're ready to get after, we're ready to go. So first things first, we want to talk some bracketology, Joe Lenardi, what he's saying about it. First 4-team in, last team out, and all that good stuff.
I got the bracket pulled up here. There's been a lot of crazy stuff going on in college basketball recently. Alabama just lost to Florida. Clemson just snuck by against Boston College. And we've also, yesterday BYU beat Iowa State, and Iowa State was a team that was probably a 2 or 3 seed on a lot of people's boards, and now they just lost.
You're not even mentioning the biggest loss either, Auburn.
Auburn too, yeah.
Yeah, Texas A&M had a very good win last night against Auburn. They were falling down many people's brackets, falling down into a slippery slope, but they bounced back in a huge way last night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they looked really good. Wade Taylor played really well. Their bench played phenomenal. They were really good last night. They were the better team the whole game.
Yeah, 100%. I didn't see. I didn't watch most of the game, but from the highlights I saw in the box score and looking at the plus minuses and all the stats and stuff, they looked like the better team throughout the whole entire game.
And if I recall, I think Johnny Broome was held to 8 points in that game. I don't think he had one of his best games.
Not my player of the year.
Yeah,
Cooper Flagg.
Cooper Flagg's been the most consistent guy all year, in my opinion.
100%.
So we're getting into some bracketology, and let's look at some bubble teams. So last 4 byes, we got Baylor, San Diego State, Georgia, and Indiana. And before I get into this, is updated as of today. This is Joe Lenardi's bracketology. So this is what we're talking about today.
I don't know if it's updated though, because North Carolina is one of the first 4 teams.
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, I thought it was at least.
This is updated as of the 4th.
Today's the 5th. I think he updated it again, but it's fine. It's fine. We can adjust that.
Yeah. All right. Well, for last 4 byes, the current last 4 byes are Baylor, San Diego State, Georgia, and Indiana. And I think all of those teams have made a pretty good case as to why they should be in the tournament. Indiana just beat Purdue recently. Baylor, they've had some really quality wins. They beat St. John's earlier this year. That's one team they've beaten.
Yep.
San Diego State, they always do well in the tournament. And Georgia just came off beating Texas on the road by like 20 points. So
and I thought they had another big win against a ranked team.
They beat Florida as well.
Yeah, they beat Florida.
Yeah.
So they're definitely earning their way in right now. So then he has the last 4 teams in as Ohio State, Arkansas, Nebraska, and Boise State. However, I'm pretty sure North Carolina pushed Boise State out because Carolina's been on a little bit of a heater. They're on a 6 or 7 game win streak.
Yeah.
Coming up on Duke this Saturday, which is an absolutely huge game for them.
Yeah, that'll be a really big game. North Carolina definitely looking like a last 4 in at the moment. Ohio State also just played Nebraska last night. It was like 116 to 114. One of the craziest games like I've ever seen. Oh, what's up, Mir? What's up, and it was probably the highest scoring game I've seen all season, and Nebraska lost, so that would, in my opinion, kick them out of last 4. And even though it was such a good game, and then Ohio State's definitely staying in.
And right now, another first 4 out team, Oklahoma's beating Missouri.
Yeah, pretty handily.
Number 15 in the nation. So I mean, they were up by 15 at halftime. So look for Oklahoma to be making strides towards the first 4 in, and they're going to keep fighting for their life, trying to get in the tournament. Vanderbilt had a bad loss the other day.
They did, yeah.
So they pretty much almost already locked up a spot.
I agree,
because they have so many good wins. But that SEC, man, they just have so many bubble teams, just teams throughout the whole tournament that are going to be seeded. It's one of the most insane things I've ever seen in March Madness, honestly.
Yeah, and the crazy part is Oklahoma has to play Texas this weekend. I know they both have been getting some really good wins. Do you think if either of these teams, like whoever wins that game, is going to be in and then the other one's going to be out? Or do you think they both could get in if it's a close game, or like even if it's like a 10-point loss for either team?
Yeah, man, I think that would be the case if Oklahoma ends up losing tonight.
Yeah.
But I think that since Oklahoma is going to maybe beat Missouri, I think they're going to get in over Texas. I don't think Texas has a good enough resume to knock out teams like Arkansas and Nebraska, even North Carolina with how many wins they have, because North Carolina has 20 wins.
Yeah, I agree. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So North Carolina's on a heater. I just honestly don't see Texas making it. I definitely see Oklahoma making it over them. But with that being said, Oklahoma, if they lose that game against Texas, I do think Texas would get in over them.
Yeah, Texas also has beaten Oklahoma this year. I don't know if you knew that. They played each other earlier this year, and Oklahoma lost to Texas. So that's another thing to consider, I guess, too, if you're the committee.
Yeah, I guess. But, if Texas sweeps Oklahoma this year, then that's one thing. But if Oklahoma wins tonight, I think Oklahoma controls their own destiny.
I agree with you. Yeah. And Boise State is another last four-in team, according to Lenardi. They beat Clemson earlier this year. They usually always sneak into the tournament somehow. Last year they were like what were they, like a 7 or 8 seed last year?
Yeah, something around there. I mean, they're always I don't want to say a mid team, because I mean anyone that makes a tournament is going to be pretty good.
Right.
But they always sneak in a tournament, always find a way to fight in. So good for them always. But looks like they're in the last spot in this.
Yeah.
On March 4th, which was yesterday when we're filming this. Looks like they're one of the last four in, but I swear I think North Carolina took that spot.
Yeah, I agree with you. And Arkansas is another last four in. I think they just played last night. I don't know. I can't remember if they won or not.
I have no clue.
But I think they're going to get into the tournament regardless.
Yeah.
And so we have first four out. We talked about everyone except Xavier. They're like I wouldn't say a sleeper team in the Big East. I'd say they're better than Villanova. I think Xavier's 4th or 5th in the Big East standings. I don't know. Do you think they have a chance to sneak in there? They've had a couple good wins, but I think they beat Marquette, right?
Yeah, they beat Marquette last week. I don't know. I just think all these other teams that we have made have a better resume. I may be having some ACC bias with Carolina in there.
Right.
But if Carolina wins against Duke, they absolutely lock their spot in. Mm-hmm. So Carolina, I think, also controls their own destiny. I think if they beat Duke that last regular season game, then some of the other bubble teams are cooked. And but if they don't beat Duke, I feel like if they beat one of Louisville, Clemson, or Duke again in the ACC tournament, I think that also locks up their spot.
Yeah, so I agree with you based on North Carolina's status that Xavier will not get in the tournament unless they have a really good conference tournament. They have to really prove it. And so the last category of the bubble, we got next four out. We got SMU, Cincinnati, Nova, and Wake. I think they're all fine being there.
Yeah. Sorry. Alex
I was confused what that was. Oh, all right. We're good.
Yeah. I think all those teams are a great spot. I think SMU, Cincinnati, Nova, Wake Forest. I don't think they have a chance of getting in. I think hold on. I'll be back. We'll go ahead and.
All right. I'll go ahead and keep talking. Our roommate can't hear us. He's blasting music. So now we're gonna go on to 68 team bracket. We don't need to talk about the first four games. Those are they're not relevant until we know the official teams. So let's go ahead.
Sorry, technical difficulties.
Let's just do a brief run through for each region. So I'm going to show you this as well, so you can kind of give your input. So right now we got the South. This is Auburn's region. They're obviously one
Clemson's
seed.
in that region. I hate that so much.
I don't like it either, man.
Because Clemson would be playing. They'd be playing Auburn in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, and then they also have to play a tough Purdue team.
That's awful.
To rematch against Boise State potentially.
Yeah.
Creighton's in there as well. They're another team that could really give them a problem. St. Mary's at 6. I think that's a good seeding for them in that region as well. Indiana at 11 is good. Kentucky at 3. I think they're more of a 4 seed in my opinion.
I do have a question. If you're Clemson, if say you make the Sweet 16,
sure.
What 1 seed would you want to play? How the 4 that's projected right now?
Out of every 1 seed, that's a hard question, man. I don't know. I don't want to play Duke again. I really don't want to play Houston. I think Houston's a solid team. I don't know. They always do kind of slip up in the tournament, which is why I think I would want to pick them. But at the same time, not gonna lie, I would probably pick Tennessee.
I would pick Tennessee. That's my honestly, looking at that list, I would put Auburn second. I think Clemson's a team that can not lock down Johnny Broome, but can limit him to a game that is about average.
100%.
With Ian Shefflin and Locken in the middle, I think that defense. I mean, they have one of the best defensive ratings in the country, so I think that defense can end up limiting them.
100%. So we also have Illinois and Iowa State in this region as well. Those are two other good teams. Iowa State's not fully healthy, but when they're fully healthy, I think they're going to be a problem. And Illinois, another sleeper team. So that's a really tough region.
Yeah, that's a super tough region. But Iowa State's shown recently that they're human. They've lost some games. I mean, they've lost, 2 or 3 games in the past couple weeks.
Yeah,
so
they just lost to BYU last night at home.
And BYU's going to be a dang good sleeper team. I'm scared for whoever has to play them because...
Dude, let's talk about BYU for a second, bro. They've won 7 in a row.
Where are they at? Dude, I'm scared for Tennessee if that's the... BYU's way better than the 8 seed. They're one of the hottest teams in the country right now.
I think they're a 6 seed right now, or even a 5 in my opinion. They're playing really good.
And they're getting the number 1 ranked guy next year, right?
AJ Dia, I don't know his last name.
They're going to be so good next year. But, dude, I think... as a Tennessee fan, I would not want to face BYU right now. I
100%.
think in the round of 32s, for correction.
Yeah. So we're in the West right now, by the way. We're looking at that region right now. And
I don't think Tennessee. If I was picking a bracket, I'll pick BYU over Tennessee.
Low-key, I think I'm rolling that with you. But, obviously it's not official. But if this were to happen, I would definitely pick BYU.
Oh, 100%. Yeah. Who else is in that?
So we got Missouri. There were 5. I would move them up over Michigan. Michigan just lost again today to Maryland. They're not playing very good right now. I don't know what's going on.
They're stumbling into the tournament right now. And then you have Marquette as a 6 seed against UC San Diego. UC San Diego from the past podcast have been one of my sleeper teams.
Yep.
I would personally pick them over Marquette because I don't think Marquette we just talked about, lost to Xavier last week. So I don't think Marquette's kind of stumbling a little bit right now. They're not playing the best basketball. They're actually on right now, and they're down to UConn. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not playing the best basketball right now. So I'll pick UC San Diego in that game.
I think I'm with you, bro. Texas Tech is a 3, perfect seed for them. Mississippi State at 7, I like that.
Love Michigan State at 2.
Yeah, that's great. I like that too. They're well deserving of getting that seed. All right, so let's look at the East. I feel a UConn Vanderbilt matchup would be
UConn would kill them.
Yeah,
UConn would kill them by 20.
Yeah,
UConn would smoke Vanderbilt. I don't think Vanderbilt has any, except the one guy that transferred, has any type of tournament experience. But hell of a game after that. If that happens, Duke versus UConn, that would be massive.
That would be. Game. I'd be really scared if I was a Duke fan, bro. UConn in the tournament is a different team, bro.
Oh, 100%. Dan Hurley gets them boys ready to go, ready to run through a wall, 100%. Bro.
And so we got some other really good matchups as well. I like a Maryland-Drake matchup. I think there's upset potential there. And also UCLA-Georgia, and even Kansas-VCU in this region too. Those are 3 matchups I like a lot. I just feel
like the tournament's so hard this year.
Dude,
like,
it's crazy.
Way harder than past years because
it's crazy.
You have, just because this year for the SEC is very much an outlier.
Yeah.
With how many teams would get in.
Absolutely.
And teams like Vanderbilt can make you can see they upset teams in their own conference that are better than a lot of teams in here. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to think of other teams. I mean, you just have a lot of more bottom tier SEC teams seeing beating the number 1, number 2.
Yeah, I would say the Big Ten's pretty competitive too. It's not as competitive as the SEC.
They got 10 teams.
They have 11 teams though.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that you could say they're just as competitive. So I mean, it's crazy, bro.
ACC has 3 teams in right
Duke,
now. That's so
Clemson,
bad.
And Louisville. That's it. Yeah.
That's so bad right now. That's why I'm hoping North Carolina gets in because there's one conference that's a mid-major conference that has in more teams than us.
Yeah, I know. I'm with you, bro.
It's awful. It's not good. Not good looks for the ACC right now.
And so the last thing to talk about with this region, I guess, is Florida at 2. They're perfect there right now. They could even move up to a 1 maybe after beating Alabama on the road. I mean, Tennessee just beat Bama at home. I mean, Florida might get the edge just because it was away.
Dude, Alabama's stumbling.
Yeah.
Bad. I'm telling you, they're relying too much on the 3.
Yeah,
too
Sears has been looking off.
Yeah, Sears, the only thing I see during the late game is Sears just chucking up threes.
Yeah, he's trying to be the man.
The hero,
man. don't get me wrong, he's probably a top 5 point guard in the country, but when he tries to do too much, this Alabama team looks like they struggle.
100%, yeah. I don't think Alabama. I think they can overtake that 1 seed.
Oh, I totally agree with you. Totally agree with you. All right, so let's talk about the last region. We got the Midwest. So we got Houston at 1, no brainer. Ole Miss Gonzaga is another good game. I think I don't know, man. I feel like that one's a toss up for me.
I don't think Ole Miss is that good, but I don't think Gonzaga is that good. So it doesn't really move me. I think Houston is getting into the Sweet 16 with ease.
Steamrolling anyone. And we got Oregon McNeese. That's another big game. McNeese, bro. I think McNeese is a tough team to watch out for.
If we're a 5 seed, that's the one team I don't want to face is McNeese.
McNeese
their manager is so tough, bro.
He gets their players hype, bro.
Tough. Listen
to In and Out, bro. In the pregame warm up. That's tough.
And then you have A&M at 4.
They should stay there. They just beat Auburn.
They might go up to 3 now.
They might, bro. Even though they lost 4 in a row, keep them at a 3 or a 4, in my opinion.
I agree.
All right, then we got Louisville versus Ohio State, Arkansas. I'm not going to lie, bro. Louisville could be on upset watch for that game,
Louisville's winning that game.
You think so?
I think so. Louisville's a dang good team, and they're pretty old, too.
Yeah,
they got some experience. So I think Louisville, I'm rooting for Cal tonight because it'll be huge for Clemson, the ACC tournament. But I think Louisville can win that game.
Yeah, 100%, bro. I totally can see it. But, I also think Ohio State and Arkansas are some quality teams. I think it could be a close game, but I guess we'll find out when it comes tournament time. Wisconsin, 3 seed, that's good. Memphis at a 7, I think that's fine, but I think they're a little bit better than a 7 seed in my opinion. Baylor at 10, Alabama at 2. Alabama's probably going to drop to a 3. Mm-hmm. That's... I don't know. Do you have any other thoughts on the
No, man. I think the bracketology's good. I mean, of course, you can't predict anything until Selection Sunday when you actually see it. So it's hard. I mean, I see a lot of teams for Clemson, for example, will have between the 4 and the 5. I mean, there's at least 10 different sites, and it goes half and half between 4 and the 5 seed.
Right.
So it's just so many teams, man, that have that seeding difference, and I just think it's always a fun time.
Yeah, man.
just to see all of it run 100%. Out. So.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and so I got this.
Mountain West, dude.
Yeah, so I got this last part for the conference breakdown. The ACC has 3 teams. Mountain West has 4.
Yeah.
I mean, what are we doing, ACC? That's crazy. And then
it's awful.
It's honestly kind of low to see the Big East at 4. I mean, usually they have more teams in the tournament.
You usually have always have Marquette.
Xavier's usually pretty good as well.
Marquette, Creighton, Xavier, Nova.
I'm trying to think of who else. St. John's is finally getting back into the tournament again. Seton Hall usually will make it. This is a really bad year for them. I don't know. It's kind of strange.
SEC at 12, man. SEC's running the game right now.
Yeah, so Big Ten's got 11 now too.
We'll see how they perform in the tournament, though. This same thing happened last year, man. And a lot of ACC teams made it far away. So we'll see how this happens, man. We'll see. Hopefully they don't stick Duke and Clemson in the same bracket, but we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, we'll see, bro. All right, so let's talk a little bit about Clemson basketball. I think we kind of highlighted everything we wanted to talk about. They just went on the road. They beat BC. Kind of a struggle a little bit in this game. BC came back. Clemson was up 16 at one point. But, they found a way to win, as good teams always do. So, I think they're fine. I don't think they have anything to worry about.
Oh, 100%. I mean, I'm trying to think what winning streak we're on right now, but we haven't lost in a minute.
We've been playing really good.
Since Georgia Tech.
We've been playing really good.
It was after that. I mean, I think we've won now 13 out of our last 14 games, which is just absolutely insane as a Clemson basketball fan.
Yep.
Zachary had a 20-point game tonight. Locken had a easy double-double with 12 and 15. This team is fine. I mean, you love to see right now in this time of year gritty wins on the road like that because, one, it will shock your team, acting like they're not on the top of the world, and two, it will show that your team can climb over adversity, climb over like BC is not a good team at all.
Right.
It showed we're human, but it can, the players, man, I just love the grit they showed tonight. I love the hustle they showed at the end of the game.
Yeah, man.
Ended up still winning by 9 points, so I mean, heck, it's not like we went off a buzzer beater. So.
All that matters, a win's a win. That's all that matters 100%. At this point.
You need these types of wins at the end of the season, man. Show these boys show the committee that you can get out these tough games, that you can pull them out.
100%. Yeah, that's awesome. But yeah, man, Jaden Zachary played really well. Shefflin had another good game. Chauncey Wiggins has been really disappointing me lately. He hasn't been looking too hot. Victor Lockin played pretty well. I mean, our best players are playing well. And, Chauncey's he hasn't been playing well, but I think he'll come around once March Madness happens. Everyone's got to play well. But yeah, I mean, we were playing again Saturday, so
Virginia
last game
Tech,
of the season,
right?
Virginia Tech, yeah. We probably will not be at that game, unfortunately, just because it's St. Patty's weekend. But
My parents are coming in town, so I will not be at the game. But we are going to my house next weekend in Charlotte, and we might go, if they make it, might go to either the semifinal game or the championship game, which would be absolutely insane.
Yeah, man, those would be really fun games. I could see, and obviously we want Clemson to get in there too, but if we saw like a Duke-Louisville kind of matchup, I think that'd be pretty cool.
That would be pretty cool to go to, but got to root for my boys. Hopefully,
gotta root
really hope they can go in because that would be an awesome game to go to
it'd be
as
great.
a fan, man. So just seeing Clemson basketball and hopefully an ACC championship is something you don't see often because we have been historically bad in the tournament these past couple of years with we didn't have a first round exit last year. We won one game, but we got a second round exit. The year before we had a first round exit at Wake. Yeah, that's what Appleby cooked us.
Yeah, Appleby. Yeah, he's tough.
But so just seeing Clemson have a chance at championship is just surreal for all of us. So it's awesome.
It's awesome. Yeah. And just Clemson sports in general this year's been amazing. I mean, Clemson football had made it to the playoff again. They're going to be going, probably going on another run next year with the team they have and the coaching staff they brought in. Like you said, Clemson basketball is playing insane. Clemson lacrosse just beat, I don't know if you saw, they beat Syracuse, who's like a top 5 team, like in the country for women's lacrosse. Baseball's playing really good. They just swept USC.
Yeah, they're 11 in the nation right now.
I mean, dude, we're at it. It's Clemson's at its peak right now. I would say
it is at its peak with the all-around sports. It's awesome to see.
Yeah.
Especially just. I mean, for me, I think the best thing to see for me is just basketball.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Not last year, but the year before with PJ Hall on the team, just getting left out or Hunter Tyson on the team and PJ Hall, just getting left out of the tournament.
Yeah.
After beating NC State 3 times.
Yep.
And seeing them get in was just so deflating. And then being the number 1 seed in NIT and getting upset by a 16 seed, it's so it was so deflating. But now, just having a chance at a 4 seed in the tournament is just insane. Yeah. And now, with Iowa State losing, you have a chance to crack the top 10 in the nation.
I know. It's right there for us, man. And the other thing I like is, everyone's like, oh, Clemson, football. Now we're basketball as well.
Yeah. No, the basketball propaganda is getting out there. I love it.
It's awesome. All right. So we're going to end pretty short. We have 2 more things we want to talk about. Are there any other sleeper teams you would say are in this March Madness tournament? 2 teams I would say are St. Mary's. No one ever talks about them. And Memphis.
I like that. Give me Drake as well. Drake's a good team. They were regular season conference champs in their conference. They only had 3 losses this year, 25 wins.
Yep.
So I mean, they've been playing dang good basketball. UC San Diego is another team I think that can make some noise in the tournament, be that little Cinderella run like we see every year. And then I'm gonna keep with my boys, the UConn Huskies. I'm gonna keep up with them. Projected to be a 9 seed right now, but whoever's that 1 seed better watch out the second round.
Yeah, it's just crazy that we're calling them like a sleeper team when they just won the whole thing last year.
You got to, man. They haven't looked the most strong this year. If you're a number 1 seed, dude, you gotta watch out.
Have to, bro.
Dude, that's gonna be scary for a number 1 seed. So we'll see about that.
And just the one thing about Memphis is, bro, they're like Auburn in this sense, and other experienced teams with old players. Their whole roster is a bunch of seniors. And they beat Clemson on the road at Clemson. Really big win for them. And they've been playing good the whole year. They have one of the best guards in the country. I don't remember his name.
They have 4 or 5 transfers. Yeah. All their starters are seniors. So they have way more experience than a team like Duke. Duke has 3 freshman starters.
Yeah, and then they have Isaiah Stewart coming off the bench. It's like the 6th starter.
Yeah, just a team like Memphis, experience goes a long ways in the tournament,
it does,
man.
100%.
Especially on a neutral site.
Yep. Yeah. Watch out for Memphis, bro. And St. Mary's, one of the best teams in the West Coast Conference. They lost their best point guard last year to UConn, actually, Aiden Mahaney. But I think that them and Gonzaga are pretty neck and neck in their conference. I think St. Mary's is a team to watch out for. I don't know a whole lot about them, but I know they always play tough and they always do well. Or not? I guess not necessarily well. They make it to the Sweet 16 sometimes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I like that.
I guess we'll see. All right. So last topic, we'll talk about Michigan State. They've been on a heater lately, bro. Yeah,
heater.
5 quad 1 wins in a row. What do you have to say about it, bro? It's Izzo's month.
It's not just 5 quad 1 wins. It's 5 wins against ranked teams.
Yeah, top 25, even better.
Michigan State, man, they're on fire right now. They're on fire. I mean, like you said, this is the month of Izzo. Izzo's legendary during this month.
I know, man.
But they have Richardson, who's very tough. He's so tough.
He's nasty. Jason Richardson's kid, bro. He's nasty.
He is nasty, bro. But Michigan State, right now, they're projected at 2 seed. I think they could snag the 1 if they keep winning out, and then hopefully maybe they could snag a conference tournament as well.
Yeah, man. I know. They're also ranked as a top 5 defense according to Ken Palm. So that's one of their biggest things they have going for them, their defense. They held Maryland at home to like 55 points, which is pretty crazy.
And Maryland's a good team.
They're a damn good team,
yeah, they're a really good team. They're one of those teams we were talking about on the Ken Palm that one time that had the national criteria, the offensive rating and the defensive rating that can win a national championship.
Yeah.
So from Michigan State to hold them to 55 points is just absolutely insane.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Yeah, I know. I could definitely see Michigan State making a run in the tournament, bro. I think they're legit.
100% they're legit. So we'll see about them. But Michigan, they're rival.
They've been looking pretty rough. Yeah. They just lost to Maryland actually today. They lost to Michigan State at home. I don't know. Did they lose to someone else too, bro? In between.
I feel like they definitely did. They had a bad loss somewhere.
Yeah.
To a team that was just not good. So we'll see about Michigan. They're gonna be fine. They got Danny Wolf and the other 7-footer. So.
Yeah, the Russian guy. Yeah, I mean they'll be fine. Danny Wolf, he's got tournament experience. He played at Yale.
But Michigan State's one of those teams you gotta watch out for in March, man. You gotta watch out for them. So.
Have to, yeah. Mm-hmm.
But that was wrapping up our last topic right here. We actually have something with our fraternity night to go golf a little bit, so we're excited about that. Yeah. But thank you for tuning in to another episode of Sports Nest Podcast. We're going to have another episode next week before we go on spring break, so we're really excited.
Yeah, man. Looking forward to the rest of the conference tournaments, last regular season game coming up on Saturday. We're really excited to keep talking about this, and there's going to be a little bit of a breaking period. Maybe we'll have to do a Zoom while we're like away from each other for spring break. But yeah, I mean it's gonna be a great month. I'm really excited.
Another episode of March Madness coming up next week, so let's go.
Yep.
Peace.